If you love traversing pixelated cyberpunk streets as a badass augmented hacker, rescuing drugged hookers, fixing marriages with emotional blackmail, and stealing little Timmy's organs for a max HP boost, you'll love Dex. And if you don't, welcome to 5-minute game reviews with your resident Neko business cat, Miss Lyra Rose, where we sniff out if a game is worth your hard-earned Rose credits, or if you should pushing it off your to-be playlist. Let's get down to business. Dex is a small open-world cyberpunk RPG that has you scrolling and rolling for about 11 hours in a whopping 2 dimensions, so you don't get motion sick like me. She's a blue-haired amnesiac living in a corporate-controlled city of Harbor Prime who suddenly becomes the target of the ominous complex, but is conveniently saved by a famous hacker named Raycast, who pushes her on a journey to uncover why she's essential to a program called Kether that will essentially remove people's free will. You know, classic cyberpunk stuff. And on the way you'll do all the goodest of stuffs like replace your meaty parts for shiny butt cheeks, blow up civilians and private property, and get tangled in an emotional web of morally dubious side quests that will question whether you're a shoot first, loot first, or root first kind of gal. So, how does it hold up on the Rose Enterprises official rating scales? Is it good for the Paws? I'll be giving it a 3 out of 5. The basic controls are pretty straightforward and you get handheld through a story tutorial that isn't too long or too short. However, you can immediately tell the movement and combat leaves a bit to be desired. The jumping, rolling, punching, shooting, it's definitely janky. Not enough to stop you, just enough to frustrate you. It is one of the better representations of cyberspace that I've played though. It's not too puzzly or tedious, and I ended up maxing out my hacking because it was pretty useful. Otherwise, overall the game challenge and progression scales nicely, the upgrade system felt earned and made a difference, and I'm once again reminded that Nekos and guns don't mix. Fuck. Luckily you can spec into being a more talkative or punchy potato, which I didn't do. Is the story Chonky or Slonky? I'm definitely awarded a Chonky 4.5 out of 5. You've got great characterization with some voice acting, plenty of side quests and depth to make you really feel like part of the world, and your actions and choices have consequences. It's definitely worth doing them. The main plot is super meaty, there's tons to do, the narrative twists are worth it, and I actually didn't see it coming. My only critique would be that the ending could have been explained better, and if we got some epilogue for all of the characters. Does it look pretty? Solid 4 out of 5. Great job with the grungy pixels, there are enough of them to actually see what's going on, but still give the vibe that they're going for. I like the touch that they animated the portrait of who was speaking, that extra effort paid off. Would your ears prick up? Again, solid 4 out of 5. There weren't any memorable tunes to add to my playlist, but there were good bangers, sound effects, and ambience that added to the atmosphere. Is it exciting enough for Zoomies? Hell yeah, 4.5 out of 5. The plot was dense enough to leave you wanting more, and there was certainly enough action scenes, although still janky, that left you battling and sneaking past endless gunmen, escaping exploding boats and toxic gas, and ultimately taking out the big bad Porpo, Aurelian instead. The personal and not so personal stakes help make it top notch. Overall, I'd rate this on the Meow scale. It's a fun experience and a solid addition to the cyberpunk genre, sticking to the tropes while still carving out a place for itself. But the weird combat and platforming controls were enough to dock points, so if you're more into the combat side rather than narrative, this is probably not for you. And finally, the $1 million question, should you spend your Rose credits on this? 100%. At around 20 USD, it's worth full price, but if you see it on sale, it's a bargain for sure. All the links below. Alrighty ladies and gentlemen, that about wraps up this 5-minute review. If you played the game before or want to try it out, leave a comment below. And make sure you subscribe for more reviews, meowderately mediocre gameplay, to become part of the Rose Enterprises lore and more. Until next time!